guys? It's Drew from the Money Is Show, and today we got a really cool guest. Number one, I'm excited because it's a female, which I don't get a lot of females on the show, so super excited about that. Secondly, I'm excited because she can absolutely kick my ass because she's a badass MMA fighter. We're going to interview her today. I'm going to talk to her about how to throw a punch, and maybe she'll let me punch some bags later. And also, she's a comprehensive wellness coach, mental health coach as well as a personal trainer. So we're going to bring her on the show. We're going to talk to her, ask her a lot of questions about success and how you can follow that path just like she has as well. Camee, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm
very excited to have you on the show.
Really excited to be here.
So I know you train down at a local gym.
I do.
Kind of close to us over here. And I know you got a fight coming up.
I do.
And maybe by the time this airs, the fight's already out. Because your fight's coming up in February 27th.
Yep, you got it.
At the Maverick Center.
Correct.
Is that one of your, would you say that's one of your biggest fights so far?
Yeah, it will be.
Like for the arena, the production, et cetera?
Yeah, the Maverick Center is a good size, and it will be a good fight card. And yeah, I'm excited to get after it.
All right, so let's back up. I know you got a fight coming up. Let's back up for a second.
Sure.
So I know you're a mental, I'm going to say mental health coach. But it's a lot deeper than that, and that's where I think you kind of coined the phrase comprehensive wellness coach or trainer.
Yeah.
In your words, what does that mean? Comprehensive wellness trainer. What does that mean?
So back it up a little. I would say mental health advocate.
Okay.
And then with my comprehensive wellness coaching and personal training, we do dive into a lot of the mental health aspects. Mm-hmm. So what that means to me is when I have my personal training clients, so much of it is mental. When you're trying to change your body composition or meet fitness goals, a lot of it is mental. It's not just the physical part.
Right.
I'm there to create your workouts, push you harder, but also to teach you, you know, that grit, determination, being able to stick out hard things and help you meet your goal. And a big part of that is having a good mental mindset.
When you look out, your clients you've had in the past, in general, maybe different people at the gym itself, or people in general, myself, maybe in this conversation.
Okay.
How much do you think mental health affects or weighs on people in today's society?
I think it's everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, from the second you wake up, it's your attitude, how you feel about yourself that day, what thoughts are you thinking, what thoughts are you choosing to let run your mind. You have a lot of control of your mindset, and I don't think people really know how capable they are or how much their mindset and mental health is holding them back.
Yeah, to me, like when I think about business or to sports, I need to play a lot of sports as well and still play sports.
Yeah.
Like in sports, I think any great coach would tell you, the majority of all that game is mental. It's before you ever get on the field, the court, it's mental.
Yeah, it really is.
And one thing, one reason I love sports, and I'm sure MMA is very, very similar to this, is like when you get put in the bad, tough positions in sports, which happens constantly and could happen multiple times in a freaking match, right? Like you're 3 rounds, and out of those 3 rounds, you could get in a very compromised position 8 different times in 3, but still end up winning the fight at the end of it. And I think so much of that at that moment is mental for that person. Yeah. Because there's that switch where you quit or you find a way to power through it, right? And I was even thinking, as I was sitting here thinking about like MMA fights, and I remember this is a nasty one, but I don't know if you remember Tim Silva. Yeah. Not old as a person, but
early
older fighter.
Game.
Yeah, early in the game.
He's an OG.
Yeah, the original gangster and a heavyweight fighter. And I'll never forget when I think it was Frank Mir had him in a armbar. Okay. And Tim, who's a tall guy, like 6'7" or something.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. Actually was standing up, and Frank was hanging off of him on an armbar. Okay. And we're normally laying down a lot of the armbars, but they were actually standing up. And Frank was literally like hanging down off of his arm, basically, but had him in the armbar. And Tim Silva refused to quit. Yeah. Refused. Until his arm snapped. Yeah. And his whole you can see it like in slow motion. His literally his forearm bone snapped. Because he refused, and that's like part of that mental toughness is like holy like that's so much pain, but it's a lot of that's mental.
Yes, it is. Yeah, obviously he's a tough guy. You know, not that I'm not tough, but I also would want to.
I was just keep my arm.
Yeah. So I mean, props to him. Like,
in that position right there.
But also, Yeah, I like to make smart decisions as well. You know, but yeah, that was an amazing fight, historical moment. I think if you watch UFC, you probably remember that fight.
Yeah, you remember the fight because it's such a freakish thing that takes place. But again, it goes back to that like mental toughness. And I know earlier we were talking about Alan Stein, Jr. And kind of that like the book. He wrote the book Raise Your Game. I know you got a book coming out.
I do.
But again, he says the same thing. Like in coaching Kevin Durant, in coaching some of these great athletes, like it's mental.
Yeah.
There's so much of it is mental in business and
Especially
life.
as an athlete, to wake up each day and have that motivation and determination every single day to put in the physical work. I mean, as a professional athlete, you're grinding every day. I mean, that is your job. And I think you might get in the same space with what you do. You know, to wake up every day, sometimes it is a grind and it's not always fun and exciting, but that mental toughness of remembering your goal, why you're doing it, and having a good attitude while you're doing it is all part of, you know, that mentality. And I think that's a huge thing with anything that you're doing is the attitude, how you're looking at it, how you're responding to what's going on, all of those things.
Let's back up a little bit. I want to talk about how you got into MMA.
Okay.
Obviously, for decades, it was a completely male-dominated sport, right? There wasn't even like MMA fighting, or if there was, it was never like publicized TV, et cetera. So back up. How did you get into MMA? Like, where did you wake up one day and say, oh, you know what I love to do today is get punched in the face? Like, where did that come from?
You know, I don't think that's how I thought of it. So growing up, I was an athlete. I always played a lot of sports, but then I was always into fitness. So when Taibo came out, it was like the jam, you know, and you like do your punches, and I was all into that. And then I took a class where you could actually like hit a bag at a rec center. Okay. And I was like, that's sweet. And then
how old were you at this point when you were doing this?
The fitness side, probably like 12. Then when I hit bags, I was like 19. Okay. And then being athletic, I just, you know, I had some intensity, I had some strength. I wanted to hit mitts. I would see people holding mitts and like slipping and throwing punches, and I thought that just looked so sweet, and I wanted to do it. So I found a fight gym. Okay. Jeremy has been on here.
Yeah, Jeremy Horn.
Right? So he is my coach. I found his gym like way back when there wasn't any girls that would show up. So really? I just like would go and I just learned skills. And
so you were in a gym, Jeremy Horn was there, of course, great guy. And whatever, maybe another dozen, 15 guys or whatever, and you were the only girl there.
A lot of the times,
When it started? At the beginning there?
Yeah.
Wow.
And at that time, I wasn't fighting. I was just in there like to work out. I wanted to work out that way. A couple of years later, at this time, like mind you, I had kids. Okay. So fighting really wasn't in like my wheelhouse, but I was watching the UFC. I would go to local fights, and there was a girl that did fight, and I was like, dang, okay. Still didn't even think about it. I didn't start thinking I wanted to fight until I was about 25. Like I said, I knew of Jeremy's gym. I wasn't like a regular, but then some events happened in my life, and it was just the perfect outlet for me. I just started training more, and I think eventually they're just like, do you want to take fights? And I was like, yeah. Let's do it. You know?
You were just training for a couple of years.
Yeah, more for fitness
literally more for a fitness purpose.
Yeah.
But you just enjoy the fitness of the cardio and core strength inside of BJJ and
learning
so forth,
new skills all the time. You know, like the treadmill does get boring. So with Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, you're always learning new combinations. At the time, I didn't know how mentally stimulating it was. Yeah. So all these things were just fueling me. You know, I didn't exactly know why, but it was just like a great outlet, and I kept at it, and then kept getting those little like feelings like maybe I would fight. Like at this time, female fighters were on the rise as well. So like it was
getting more popular at this point.
Like Ronda Rousey was coming out, like the Miesha Tates, the Gina Carano. Like all those girls kind of popped onto the scene. Yeah. And then fighting really has become a great opportunity and career path for females. So I'm glad that I stuck with it.
When you took the first fight, was it a thing where someone at the gym just kind of said, hey, there's actually a fight happening, they're looking for another female fighter?
Kind of, yeah.
Or was it like, hey, you put your name out there and said, hey, I'll take some fights?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah, you know, like you'll tell Jeremy, hey, I think I'll take a fight. And if something comes up, like obviously the promoters reach out to our gym. And
so tell me about your first fight. How old were you when your first fight?
I think 26.
26 years old. You take your first fight. Where's it at?
Where was it? Not Tooele, but somewhere down south. It was outside.
Okay, outdoor fight.
It was.
Okay, so probably not a super high promotion here. This is not
Nope,
UFC.
this was a smaller card. So I actually lost my first fight.
Did you?
It went to a decision.
3 rounds?
Totally froze. Yeah.
3 rounds, okay.
In the gym, I was used to like technique and more just like a technical fight. This girl was super crazy, like wild and crazy, and I just like wasn't used to that. I totally froze. I don't even know why. You're just not exactly prepared for.
Yeah, sure. It's your first one.
Yeah,
too,
what
right?
you're getting into,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was a good lesson. You know, like she put me in a bunch of tough positions. I didn't quit. You know, it went to a decision. After that, I was like, shit, like.
I should not did that.
Yeah. So you know, either you win or you learn. And yeah, I figured out what it actually is going to take, and then had a second fight, smashed it at the second fight, and.
How many fights have you done so far?
6.
Six fights.
Yeah.
And this will be your 7th one coming up.
Yeah.
Record right now?
4-2.
4-2.
Yeah.
Are you more of a
Stand-up fighter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you more of a submission, or are you
No.
more of a ground and pound, or more of a stand-up fighter?
I would say stand-up and ground and pound.
That's your,
I started.
And then submission.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what Jeremy is great at. Like he is like a ground guy. If you know Jeremy, you know he's jujitsu.
At crazy levels of black belt.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time, that I've really had to get out of my comfort zone and do jujitsu. I started, you know, with fitness kickboxing and Muay Thai, so that was just really where I was comfortable.
Okay.
It took a hot minute to get into jujitsu and really like it and want to train it all the time, but yeah, it's part of the game. I do enjoy it now.
Unique question.
Yeah.
Have you ever fought, probably not professionally, but maybe at different gyms or whatever it is, scrimmage, match, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Have you ever fought though, like in more of a 3-round, you know,
like
octagons? Yeah, but actually like, not just sparring, but actually fighting. Like, but I'm calling it a scrimmage, right? Where it's like, hey, let's you two have a full-on 3-round.
So we call that sparring.
Sparring. We call that sparring.
Yeah, and that happens a lot when you're training. Like you will spar.
A straight-up 3-round match.
Yeah.
You get in there and fight for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like weekly.
Okay. My question to you is: have you ever fought a guy on a sparring match like that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the only female at my gym that's actually fighting right now.
Okay.
So most of my sparring partners are male.
Men. My question that I'm trying to get to here is: how have you ever beat a male in a sparring competition?
So when you're sparring, you're not going full out. You're basically being a good partner. Like the level is heightened and it's taken up a notch, but it's not quite to the level where you're like actually
100%.
like fighting.
Okay.
So it really just depends on their skill level.
Okay.
I go with Jeremy all the time. Obviously, I'm never, ever gonna beat Jeremy. Like, but
and he's a big guy anyways. He's actually a big. I was surprised how big he actually was in life. So you've never like had a full-on fight with a male in a cage, a cage
no,
match
not with
like
a male.
that?
But most of my sparring partners are guys.
Are guys.
Yeah, and we'll go at it. I mean, even if they're smaller than me or if they're better than me, like you still go at it. It's like at a pretty intense pace.
Yeah.
But they're not trying to like knock me out. I'm not trying to knock them out. Like it's not like
there's
that.
all this old age debate, right?
Yeah.
That happens at every UFC party that I've ever been to in my life.
I think I know the question.
Right? Of could a girl beat a guy?
Yeah.
In a fight, and my answer has always been say 2 professionals, because that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But this is a bunch of overweight, out of shape, fat dudes drinking beer, talking about this concept.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, they would absolutely murder you. In meaning that guy that's sitting there, that kid could not run to his car right now, in the driveway.
Yeah.
Before getting out of breath.
Yeah.
What's your thought on it? Am I right or am I wrong?
I do think a female can beat a male, especially if she has technique, she has been training, she kind of knows what she's doing. Most of the time, men, you know, usually are stronger than girls. You might not be able to knock them out, but like I said, if they're sitting on their asses all day just drinking
this is who's
beer.
talking about it.
Yeah, I definitely think they could.
Yeah, I'm not talking about another trained professional MMA fighter, because then you have 2 skill sets and all the different things that you're talking about. I'm talking about, again, this age-old debate that happens at every UFC
For sure,
party.
if they have jujitsu knowledge, they will be able to choke you out.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so in MMA, you
Yeah.
start your career into this. You're still in MMA. You're
Yeah.
still fighting right now.
Yes.
But you have this other side of your whole brand
Yeah.
that you build, CameeAdams.com.
Yeah.
And Camee, C-A-M-E-E, Adams.com, which is more of the mental, emotional, and spiritual, or you do
Yeah.
physical. What's your three that you do?
Yeah. To me, all the physical side came very naturally, and I really had to fight and work to, create more self-awareness, which plays into your spiritual, emotional, and physical health. But
Those are the three that you hit.
Yeah.
When you like train and sit down with people,
Yeah.
you do emotional, physical, and mental
yeah,
health, wellness, and
Yeah.
those three categories right there, which has to do with your three braids in your hair right now
Yeah.
that you built literally for the camera
Yes.
on that side perfectly.
But it's my logo as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's
like
your
it's
logo,
like
right?
3 bars and the E's on my website. You'll see it's like broken up.
What are they? Give me those three. You said that there's 3 E's.
So you know how you spell my name E-E? So there's like 3 bars with the E.
Okay.
The lady that came up with my logo, it just fit well.
Yeah.
Like you'll see it around, like that E is just like the 3 bars. And then I just made the 3 bars what I put into my personal training clients and kind of the whole brand and feel and vibe of what I really try and instill in people when they work with me.
Now, talk to me a little bit about, and maybe this may be a little bit too early, but I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about the book. You're working on a book right now.
I am.
Obviously, big project. I've done it before.
Yep.
Overwhelming, especially if you've never done it before. It's like, my
Yeah.
God, dude.
It's a process.
It is such a process, writing a book. What's the purpose of writing the book? What's your end goal of writing the book?
The end goal is to help people overcome whatever hard thing they're going through in their life. And you hear this all the time. You know, if you share parts of your story, it just helps to create that community and help
Right.
people not feel alone. I get it all the time. You know, when people look at me, they don't think that I would fight, or that the way that I look means my life has been easy or something like that, which is quite the opposite. And so I do like to share parts of my story, and parts of my story I haven't really shared or come out with. I have smaller kids, so there's like a certain time period when I need to wait until they're older, just for a few reasons.
Sure.
I did lose a brother to suicide, and we talked about that earlier. People are always very curious about that situation. And, you know, I've shared some details, but I haven't really gone into everything and like how it unfolded that day and kind of that whole story. So I know people are curious about that, and I've tried to figure out how to share parts of his story. What's also is really unique, I don't know if a lot of people know this, and I'll share this with
Sure.
you and with the audience, is he did leave letters. And parts of his letters is he wanted us to use him as an example of like things of not to do, or like how to live your life. So that's a big.
When you say letters, just for clarity, because you said letters,
Yeah.
was it like he left a letter, or he left multiple letters for you guys to read, or
So-
unless it's too personal?
No. I would love to share this. So he left letters for my family, but then it was broken up to parts like of my mom and dad. There was a part for me. There was a part for my sister. He
Holy.
did write to my daughters.
Holy cow.
And he left one for his best friend and a girl that he was dating at that time.
And how old was he at this time?
22.
22 years old. And this is good. Does this go into, or maybe was the mental health side that you talk so much about kind of born or birthed through that, out of that process?
Of course. And the thing about him, he was very handsome. He was very popular. He was a college athlete. He was very charming, charismatic. A lot of people really didn't know that he struggled.
Yeah.
And so it was a big shock when it happened. So yes, he struggled immensely. I've also struggled with my own depression and anxiety. So when that situation happened with him, it just became know, I felt like people need to talk about it. And
Yeah.
so I did become more of a mental health advocate. I've worked with, you know, several nonprofits and have gotten certified in community suicide awareness and, you know, got those certifications so that I can speak, you know, professionally, but then also tie in my personal story of my brother and then my own story. And there's just been a lot of shit in my life, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? But, you know, within all of that, I think you find your purpose and you find your whys and your reasons. And yeah, I just have continued to felt like I needed to be open about it and share parts of his story, not only to help people, but to honor his wishes and all of that.
Honestly, that's crazy.
It is. It's a heavy topic.
Yeah,
you know?
obviously it's a heavy topic, and
Yeah.
obviously something that you, your whole family had to go through.
Yeah.
And you went through it, but talking about you specifically, you went through, because you were 20, I know you were older, so you were 20, maybe 5.
Yeah.
When this happened, you
Yeah.
were 25, he was 22.
Uh-huh.
And then you've turned around and tried to use freaking a dark, dark, dark day in your family's history,
Yeah.
right? As something positive and good to help others through the process, which is where you tie in all the mental health wellness side into it.
Yeah.
Go a little bit. Let me ask you maybe if I ask a question maybe for the audience or the viewers,
Sure.
talking a little bit about stress in someone's day.
Yeah.
Right? People have stress constantly, whether it be from like stuff that your brother went through and maybe that was more of a deeper mental health side of it.
Yeah.
Right? That exists there. But let's go to a little bit maybe a softer side of general stress in general when people deal with it. You have personal clients you work with all the time that I'm sure live high level, high stress, high pressure.
Yes.
They feel like sometimes they're in a pressure cooker every day at work.
Yeah.
Right? How would someone, with your experience, how would you tell someone how they decompress after a day of work like that?
Okay. I like to start with cultivating self-awareness. When you have more self-awareness within yourself, you are able to decipher, why am I stressed? What triggered me today? Is this mental health stress because like chemicals in my brain are not firing how they usually do? Is this something that someone said to me? Is this stress because my wife is mad at me or things at home are hard? So I really try to help them create more self-awareness so that they can go to that specific part that they feel most overwhelmed about.
Okay.
And it could be even just how they're thinking about a situation. A lot of the times when personal training clients come in, just their own perception of the barriers that are keeping them back in your life. If you can reframe that and help them overcome those barriers, that's a huge step. But that first step to even getting there is self-awareness. And it's just sitting with yourself in those hard, uncomfortable feelings and really dig through, why am I stressed? What is creating this? What do I need to do before I go home so that I don't bring this to my family, so that it's not encompassing my whole life, basically.
Yeah, the stressful situation, not owning who you are as a person.
Yeah.
As you talk about self-awareness and kind of breaking it down, which is, I haven't heard it the way that you're talking about it, where you're basically taking it from, hey, I'm super stressed, right? You can be stressed for 1,000 different reasons, right? And sometimes you get in that mode, it's almost like just a dark cloud that's over you, and you feel like, my God, everything that could go wrong is going wrong, and you live this, you have this high pressure of stress that's there. And what you're saying is self-awareness is just meaning sit back and find out, where is that actually coming from? Like, where is the actual root of it happening? It's not everything.
Yeah.
It feels like it's everything sometimes. It feels like the whole world is collapsing on you at one time. What you're saying is just go sit down and dig through and process, where is it actually coming from? And then focus on that piece, fixing that piece right there, or adjusting, tweaking, whatever it is on that piece right there. It reminds me very, very much about in business, in work mode, you have these massive projects that you're taking on, right? And it's like, my God, how am I going to get this whole freaking project done? Yeah. And it's like, dude, just break it down and find the first thing that you can start the process on and start moving forward on it. Yeah. And as you were talking about, it's what it kind of reminded me of is people get overwhelmed in work because they feel like this project is too big. In reality, just find the first thing and go start working on that process. Correct. And it'll start working itself out. And you're saying de-stressing is similar to that. Self-awareness is similar to that.
our whole life is a process, basically. And so I honestly think the number one thing to de-stress is creating and learning how to have more self-awareness. So a big piece to self-awareness is why I did my yoga certification, is finding that calm, peace place wherever you're at. So with my personal training clients, you know, the last 15 minutes is yoga every session. And that just helps me to help them sit in their quiet moments and work through whatever they feel like is stressing them. But then also, you know, once you're able to create that calm within yourself, then usually you can find that calmness wherever you're at, you know. But you have to learn how to do that, how to cultivate that, and then that just helps you become more self-aware. So then you continue to just figure out how to live your best life, basically.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to go more personal side.
Sure.
And we're going to do some personal training.
Okay.
And I'm about to be your client for everybody here, okay?
Yes, okay.
So when I'll go my personal life. So for me, as I go through different things, and you talk about yoga, this is where it was coming from.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine that is dying to get me to go to yoga.
Okay.
Which I've never done before.
Do you know what style of yoga? Like what class? There's all different types.
Yeah, there's all different classes. I don't know which one he was talking about. Probably something that would hurt me, whichever that would be.
and it shouldn't hurt you, but.
I don't know which one.
Okay.
Okay, but he's dying to get me to go to yoga.
Yeah, you should.
And a lot of it was just talking about, but when he was talking about it, it's a little bit more coming from the workout process.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a different style of yoga that's a little bit more
There is.
intense.
So there's all different kinds of yoga. My personal favorite for de-stressing is the yin style yoga. You're not doing any standing positions. You're either on the floor or like in a tabletop position, which is all four. It's really learning to sit within positions. You hold them longer, and it's really training yourself to release that monkey mind.
Okay.
You know, it should be very calming. You should get into your rest and digest system, which just allows you to actually relax and de-stress.
In a perfect world, I'm gonna send this yoga one because I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
And then I want to go back into kind of what I've always done, and maybe I'm not truly de-stressing. Maybe I'm just band-aiding it. But I'm gonna tell you what I do.
Yeah.
And you can tell me like,
'Kay.
yeah, you're an idiot, Drew. That's you're not even close.
Any movement, I'm an advocate of. If you're moving, that's great.
So on this yoga though, in a perfect world, would someone do this de-stress yoga? I think you called it Zen.
It's called yin.
Yin
style.
Yin style yoga. Would they do that on a daily basis or once a week
you
or?
Can. Whatever fits your schedule, but it is something that you can do at home. Most of the time, not everybody feels relaxed at home. You know, especially
so much
if you're
stuff going on,
in
kids and sure.
So I personally like to go to a class where that collective energy, where everyone is relaxing, that's the vibe. I love that the most. Or like a private session, you know, where the energy is brought into the session. But yeah.
So it could be daily, or someone could just do it once a week and refocus and recenter where they're at. So for me, I'm gonna go back on my side now. For me, when it comes to like de-stressing, I do something daily, every single day, and I start my morning off with it. And it's I guess it's a mixture of two different things. And it's actually in the planner that I mentioned earlier. I had literally have put it in there.
Good.
This is what I do every single day. And I have 3 little things that I do, or I'm sorry, it'd be 4 little steps that I do. But 3 of them, let me start with the big one. The first one is just always, I start every day with always gratitude. Yeah. And I just take time, no matter freaking how busy, stressed I am, I go through gratitude first. And I will literally sit there and think about things that I'm super thankful for that I have. And then the next 3 things are, I have 3 things in my personal planner that I do every single day of 3 like almost things of positivity maybe. Yeah. Where like I will send somebody something, I will do something. There's 3 things that I do every single morning. Yeah. I will find random people or in my circle of influence. Yeah. And every morning I do these 3 things to 3 different random people. And it's how I've always kind of dealt with starting my day off super strong, positive, and not focusing on the high levels of stress that are there. Because like every day of my life is stressful. Yeah. But those that little moment right there is like, after that I just go to do my day.
Yeah. And then you are set in your purpose. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel happy. I feel like
Yeah, upbeat. You
dude,
want to conquer your day.
life
You have
is
a good
way
attitude.
more important than whatever freaking job I have task
Yeah.
to do on my list today. Like life is way more important.
You know-
And it almost like just keeps the stress almost away from me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm starting my day off just refusing to try to.
Your mindset has just shifted.
Yeah.
Basically, how you're thinking about your day. You have started your day with a grateful, positive outlook.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds like you've set up your calm moments. You know, sending out those things to your friends probably helps create like good positive vibes within yourself and just creates that good energy for the day. Another interesting thing that you just said that I just made me think this is you're choosing to live the lifestyle that you're living, correct?
Correct.
And so yes, it can be stressful, but again, you're choosing it. So it's like, how do you make all the things in your life that you're choosing work for you? Obviously, it's working for you because you're making great money. You're enjoying what you're doing, even though it's stressful. So I think it's very important to remember that you are choosing to live the way that you're living. So when stress comes, you know, it's more of how are you handling it? Like, you're choosing to live this way, but you also need to figure out how it can work for your life so that you can have health and wealth. And I think that's what everyone is striving to live, is they want to be wealthy, but they also want to be healthy and happy. And you're saying gratitude and sending these things out to different people help you create that purpose and, you know, let you live that life of being wealthy and healthy. And I think that's all that anybody is, you know, trying to live in life. You know, we all want to make money to have great experiences and do the things that we want to do, but sometimes making the money is stressful, you know, but you're also choosing that, and then you're also choosing to have a great mindset and, you know, hustle all these things every day so that you can live the things that you know, want to
I
do
think it's
each day.
important. I think what you're saying is super important. I think we forget maybe that we freaking chose to do whatever it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad, evil, whatever it is. I mean, we as humans chose to do that.
So how are you choosing to think about it?
Yeah,
you
so
know?
it's like it's coming back to that mental side of it. Is like, well, yeah, but I chose to live a high pressure life that's constantly on the go and scheduled and so
how are
forth
you
built
going to
out.
choose to handle all the stress? How are you going to choose to, you know, make it work for you and all of those things?
And then I think I just found my little things that I do, and then I have an evening routine.
Yeah, which is great.
That I go through as well. And I would tell you that probably the evening routine is probably the biggest thing that's helped me in my freaking life. Everybody, my whole life was focused on morning routines, which I have a morning routine, and everybody focused on morning routines forever.
What
and
do
one
you
day,
do to de-stress? Let's hear this.
What's that?
Can I turn the tables? Yeah. How do you de-stress at night?
At nighttime?
Yeah.
It's just certain steps that I go through, and one is there's a certain point, because I will go home and work on my laptop, and I got this horrible habit of basically working until I collapse to some nights.
Okay.
Like I would just sit on my say couch, and then sit and then I would go to my bed, and I would just sit on my laptop and just sit emails, text, groups, website stuff that we're working on, whatever it is, right? And I would just work and work and work. It's like, oh, I'm tired, and that's when I would go to bed. And it was got to the point where everything that I freaking did in life was revolving around that concept. And it took me a while to realize that it's always going to be there. Like I'm never going to get my lifestyle, work style, let's say, is never going to get to a point where it's not. There's not going to be anything on my list or my projects. There's always stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so one of it is there's a certain point that I turn off my laptop work mode and completely turn it off. I call it 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So 3 hours before I'm ready to go to bed, I turn off my work stuff.
That's awesome.
So 3, 2, 1. So 3 hours. I kind of know when I'm going to go to bed, right? And it changes because of different events or traveling or whatever. But in a normal scenario, I know about what time I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
And so 3 hours before I do that, I turn off my work laptop and stop all work stuff completely. 2 hours before I go to bed, say I'm at my condo, 2 hours before I go to bed, I will find certain things that I have found in my own life that allow me, for whatever reason, to be less stressful. It's like random things around the house. And I'll tell you what mine is. It's so funny. Mine is laundry.
What?
I know, so random. Mine is laundry. For some reason about it, my brain just enjoys the concept of these two machines working. I think because I enjoy efficiency and production. I know, it's so weird, right? And I enjoy the process of my laundry machines working.
Okay.
So at night, I love doing laundry.
Yeah.
And so 2 hours kind of before I go to
Kinda
bed, I try to
unwind,
start
get the laundry going.
the laundry
Yeah.
side of it. And then I'm more of a clean freak.
Okay.
And so I love the last 2 hours before I try to go to bed. I'll do any type of like de-junking.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to say maybe de-junking, but
Decluttering.
decluttering in my life. I just find stuff to get rid of.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I just find stuff to get rid of.
Brings you peace though.
yeah.
Get your space
And
situated.
it creates, and I know when I wake up in the morning, like it's like, oh, it's all.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying organized. I'm just saying it's like less clutter.
Yeah.
Like there's not as much shit
Yeah.
laying around.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoy at nighttime, about 2 hours before I go to bed, just finding random stuff that I can get rid of.
Yeah.
I almost take the trash out every single night.
Okay.
Somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you last night.
Okay.
Last night in my bathroom, there's a small little trash can.
Yes.
And I literally was looking for trash to get rid of. I didn't even have a lot of trash in it, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna go dump it out right now.
Yeah.
Just because there's something peaceful about it, knowing that trash can is empty.
Yeah.
In my world, I don't know, it's so freaking weird. But I just find
it
the
makes you
things
feel
that
good, like, do it.
makes me like
Yeah.
zen
Yeah.
out almost.
Yeah.
And then the last one is 1 hour before bed, so it's 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
The last hour for bed, whatever I wear to bed, I move into 1 hour before bed.
Get your PJs on.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I whatever you wear, whatever I wear
Yeah.
to bed, 1 hour before bed, I put that on.
Okay.
And then I start shutting things down
Yeah.
in my life. TV, laptop's normally already off by then, but TV, podcast, phone for the most part, unless I'm, the only thing I'll do at night is text friends, family,
Yeah.
a little bit more personal side
Yeah.
of stuff.
Which is important. Keep those connections.
And then the last hour is when I do reading.
Okay.
I'll start my reading process.
Yeah.
And reading is another place that just like calms me and
Yeah.
pushes me through to a nice zen moment.
Yeah.
And my reading is different. Like at this point, like I used to read, I said this earlier, I used to read to read.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning I would read 52 books in a year.
I remember you saying that.
A book a week I would read.
That's a lot of reading.
And I learned a ton from it, but one of the things that I did was I was reading to read versus reading to change.
Yeah.
And there was a massive difference when I made that switch.
Yeah.
Sometimes now I will literally read a page and that's it in a book. Mainly because my books are more educational based than I'm
Yeah.
reading. And sometimes I'll just read literally a page and I will literally lay in bed and just ponder for like an hour,
Yeah.
30 minutes about that one concept
Yeah.
of what it would do and how it changes. And I read to change versus read to read.
Yeah, I think that's huge because especially in the self-help world, you can read all the books that you want, but if you don't take action and actually make the change, like it's not actually helping you, So yeah, I think it's great to read, but like you said, that you're reading and then you will see how you can take action and make a change and apply it actually to your life.
What a freaking good does it do if you read a book
Yeah,
and
it
you
does.
actually have no comprehension
Yeah.
of what actually was being gone through and taught?
Well,
through
even
the process.
comprehension, but then you don't take the next step of taking action and actually changing.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably one of the hardest parts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so there's a whole little night routine that I have as well.
I love it.
Called 3, 2, 1. That's in my planner as well.
I love it.
There's some more things in there that I do and so forth, but
you need to sell these. These are such great
well,
concepts.
no, yeah. People that see it want me to, but I don't think the plan would work for everybody else because it's literally like my freaking personal life that I just built so I could manage it
you're pretty successful.
and maintain
People might want this
my
roadmap.
morning routine, my nightly routine, how I manage my day, how I organize my day, what I'm accomplishing in a day.
I fold the laundry.
Oh, dude, I love folding. Let me back up. I don't love folding laundry. I love folding towels. That's my
Okay.
other zen moment.
Okay.
Is I will fold towels.
You might have to give us a tutorial, maybe,
Well,
at some point.
how funny you want to get on this? You want to talk about dating for a second?
Yeah, I do. What?
'Cause
Are you single?
I'm single.
Okay, I'm single. I didn't know that.
So, on online dating,
Yeah.
this is so weird for a show, but let's just air this shit
Let's
out,
do it.
okay?
Let's do it. I don't care.
So, I enjoy folding towels.
Okay.
And so, online dating, you kind of meet a girl online, you're texting and so forth, and trying to get to know each other and
Yeah.
see if there's gonna be a date.
The whole thing,
And I'm quick to the date. Like I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you
I know.
for 3 weeks in texting. Like I have way too much
pen
stuff
pal?
to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a prison pen pal. And so one of the things that's so funny that I started doing was, I found out through online dating. It's so weird. I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud.
Stop it. Do it.
Is that girls are normally sent like all these photos of guys. Like once you start like texting, guys will start sending photos, right? I'm not even saying good or bad, but they send photos. Yeah. And what I realized was girls hate that crap.
Okay.
And so what I started sending photos of was my folded, stacked, clean towels in my clean bathroom.
And they loved that. They were like,
and
yes.
the women freaking like, oh my God, yes, can we please go on a date? When can we meet? Because I guess like girls are, they get the opposite. And they're like, oh my God, a guy that can actually fold towels and has a clean bathroom and
this is great.
Their bed is made and so forth. That's another of my morning things that I make my bed every freaking morning.
These are all great
I
things.
wake up and make my bed.
Yeah.
And on the note on that is a mental thing of before I get in the shower, like I've already accomplished something.
Yeah.
I've already officially what should be done, because like making a bed is like kind of one of those things that's on in theory on a to-do list.
Yeah.
It's not on a to-do list, but it would categorize as something that
It
someone.
kind of sets your mindset for the day. You get up,
Dude,
make
it does.
You're organized, like.
And then when I get out of the shower,
Yes.
and I come back to my room, it's like, oh yeah, my bed's made.
Your folded towel and
Oh,
everything's
dude,
nice.
yeah. So I'm
You're just
I'm
killing it.
killing life
You
right now with folded
really
towels
are.
that you brought up on this example. So yeah, so if you're single and you want a picture, I'll send you folded towels. That's my go-to move, okay?
You should do a tutorial. You really should.
I should do a tutorial on it.
should.
Yeah, so anyways, the point of this, Camee, is
routines.
talking about mental routines and what it does for you mentally. And it's so unique how it does
Set yourself
it.
up to succeed every day.
Yeah, in the morning and the evening routines are so friggin' important.
Yeah.
And then my day kind of runs in between those.
Yeah.
But it's like how I start my day and then how I end my day. Because what's going to happen inside of that next 9-10 hours,
Don't have a lot of
honestly, I
control.
don't have that much control over.
Yeah.
Like I have a schedule, but dude, things come, go, shift, change. I'm shifting my schedule right now, like with you right before the show. Like, I don't have always control over it, but I do have that morning and I have that night that I control. And then the days happens and I roll with it.
And a big part of that is you're a professional. So when you're in work mode, you are in professional mode. You're on for everybody else. When you're at home, you really are doing the things that will set you up to be that professional that you want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. You have to do things for yourself, not for anybody else, not for the money, not for anything, but what is actually bringing you joy so that you can continue to live the lifestyle that you want to live and are choosing to live and all of those things. But your self-awareness, all huge. And it really does all start with yourself and within your mind. And
Yeah. I just have never tied all that back to self-awareness for some reason until I sat here with this interview.
Good.
Talking to you about it. Like I'm taking away all these like self-awareness notes of like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Huge.
I should probably dig deeper into that and probably I would produce and accomplish more.
Because everything is stemming from you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like your whole life is stemming from you, the people that you interact with, like all of it. So yeah, I think self-awareness is
Let me jump back over to another point because I know you do like trainings and well, let me actually stay on this point just for a second. You do corporate trainings mixed into mental, physical, and emotional wellness. Tied into, on the physical side of it, you do the parts of the boxing, MMA style training. We're going to do some stuff in a little bit in my office.
Yes.
So one of the things, you brought some gloves and pads.
Pads or mitts is usually what you call them.
Pads or mitts, and you brought some gloves. And you're going to teach me how to punch.
The basic 6 count.
Okay. So my question to you first is, if someone wants to learn how to throw a punch.
Yes.
Okay. And female, male, whatever it is, right? And they're like, man, how do I actually punch someone?
Yes.
Or if I had to defend myself,
Okay.
right? Let's talk about it in a positive manner.
Okay.
Versus like, I just want to go punch someone.
Okay.
Okay, so if someone had to throw a punch, right,
Yes.
from an MMA fighter, right?
Okay.
What would you tell someone how they throw a punch?
Okay. First of all, there's 6 punches. It's called the basic 6 count. It's in boxing and in MMA.
Same.
A little bit different. We'll go over that. In a self-defense scenario / actual technique in a fight, those are also different.
Different approaches, okay.
We'll go through the technique first, like the technique. So there's the 6 count. There's 6 punches, your jab, your cross, your hooks, and your uppercuts. in a self-defense situation, you're probably just going to throw a huge 2. Hit him as hard as you can.
You
don't
called it
stop,
a 2.
which is a cross.
Which is a cross, okay.
So the basics.
Well, you're going to back up a second.
Yes, I'm sorry. Let's break it
the
down.
6 punch, is it 6 punches or 4 punches?
There's 6 punches, and it's called the basic 6 count.
Okay, give me the 6 punches. Just
1 is your jab.
jab.
2 is your cross.
Cross.
3 is your left hook.
Left
4
hook.
is your right hook. In
Right hook.
boxing,
Okay.
MMA, it's usually an overhand right.
Okay.
Just FYI. And then your rear uppercut. And
5 would be a rear uppercut.
And then 6 is your lead uppercut.
Lead uppercut.
1, 3, and 5, all with your left hand. 2, 4, and 6, all with your right hand.
Wow, I'm learning so much stuff right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to throw a punch, you should
Yeah.
first learn there's 6 punches to actually that you could throw.
Yes.
So which one do you want to throw would be
In
how
a
you would teach 'em.
self-defense scenario, it's going to be your 2 or your cross. Throw it as hard as you can.
2 is your
Your cross. It's
your-
basically your power punch. A
Okay.
lot of people you'll see in MMA and boxing, their cross is usually going to be really hard and strong, and that's a good knockout punch.
and that's your 2's your power right for maybe right-handed, so it'd be
Yeah.
right cross.
Yep.
And then what was the other one you said? If you're in self-defense, you said you maybe
The same one. I mean, if you're trying to hurt someone, you're going to throw your 2 or your cross as hard as you can
okay.
at their face.
And that's what we're gonna do over here in my green room in just a second.
We're going to go over the whole basic 6 count so that
I gotta do all 6 of them.
so you know. But yeah, we'll work on your 2.
And these are things that you do at group sessions
Yes.
with corporate events.
Yes.
You bring out the bags, not bags. You bring out the mitts
Mitts and gloves.
and gloves.
Have them pair up. Great team building exercise. Helps them overcome any fear. They're doing something uncomfortable together. If
Super
they've never
uncomfortable if
done
they've
it.
never done it. Right?
Yeah.
And most people haven't.
There's a lot of anxiety about, oh, I'm going to get
Yeah.
hit or I'm
Do you
going to hit
pass out Xanax?
someone. It's not part of the
No, I'm just asking.
the team building exercise.
Probably not
No.
part of mental wellness either,
no,
right?
no. But yeah, team building. It's great for bringing a whole group together. It's great to learn something new. Something that people don't understand is how mentally stimulating throwing punches is. Like a lot of people think you just go in there, it's barbaric, and you're fighting each other.
Yeah.
But it's so much more of a chess game, fighting, than anything. So I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, one of my favorite fighters of all time. I loved him because to me his mental game
Yeah.
was just incredible. Was GSP.
Okay. Yeah.
I freaking loved watching that dude fight.
Yeah.
Because I felt like every single match that he went in was a complete chess match.
Yeah.
And you could, like, to me, when I watched him, it was like you could see the chess match, him playing chess
Yeah.
at high freaking levels with people. Where,
Yeah.
like, a lot of times, like you said, people think of UFC as, or MMA as just jumping in and fighting.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is. But to me, when I watched GSP, it was like such a strategic chess match that he had played 1,000 times against his opponent
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
And then it was just perfected live where we could all watch it.
I mean, if you learn anything about his training system, he's very regimented. He's very structured. So yeah, I mean, he's a high-level fighter. I think a lot of those high-level guys, it's a lot of strategy.
I'll never forget
and-
the fight that I love the most with him. And he might have. I want to make sure I get the right fighter because it was a contested fight. One of his later ones, I think. Well, no, I think he fought him twice. I think it was the first match I'm referring to where he beat him really bad. I think he fought. Remember Johnny Hendricks?
Yeah.
And he fought Johnny Hendricks,
Yeah.
who Johnny Hendricks had a massive right
Yes.
hand
Yeah,
or
he's
cross.
a big puncher.
Yeah,
Yes.
big haymaker.
Big strong hunger. Yeah.
And GSP sat there and jabbed his eye,
Yeah.
left eye,
Yeah.
like 800 times.
Yeah.
Like his left side of his face was like gone.
Yeah.
And I loved watching that match because no one thought GSP would stand up with Johnny.
Yeah.
Because Johnny was a super power puncher.
Yeah.
And GSP just played the angles constantly on him, and just kept hitting that left freaking eyeball.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if you remember, I think he broke his orbital
I'm
eye socket and everything.
Sure he did. Yeah.
With just like 800 left jabs.
Yeah.
To his eyeball. It was so crazy watching this guy fight. And again, nobody, all the announcers, like
Yeah.
GSP's gonna take him down. Because GSP has great
He does.
takedown.
Yep.
Like one of the highest percentages of takedowns and takedown events.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he was gonna take him down, and he didn't. He just sat there and
I'll have to rewatch
punched
that one.
his eyeball
Yeah.
like 800 times.
Yeah. It's a great strategy.
But it goes back to chess. Like
Yeah.
it's such a chess game.
It is. It really is.
Brett, I want to break down money to you right now.
Sure.
Some of the money side of it. You're in business. You have your own stuff you do. You have your own sponsorships and partnerships.
Yes.
You have your brand.
Yep.
You're an MMA fighter.
Yep.
Fighting coming up. You got a book coming out.
Yep.
All of it let's take it back to money for a second now.
Okay.
Obviously, we started the show Money Is blank, just because it means different things to people. And I think it goes back into a lot of actually what you are referring to on the mental side, is really the why I started the question Money Is, in the sense of as I met people around the world that wanted money but didn't have it, and you ask them, why do you want it? Okay, but just cut the shit, but why do you want it? And it was always, I always found the majority, I won't say always, but the majority of the time when people that didn't have money wanted money, their answer of why they wanted it was immediately like this very superficial, fluff answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Generic, to a certain degree, answer. And my whole point to it is, when it comes to money, especially when you don't come from money, my family didn't have money, you don't come from money, and you're trying to pursue this wealth game, the biggest question I think you can know is, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna put yourself through hell.
Yeah.
Like it's like training for an MMA fight. Like you're gonna go through freaking hell. And it's gonna be brutal. And you're gonna get punched in the face repeatedly.
Yeah.
And like in MMA practice, you literally physically are getting punched in the face.
Yep.
But I'm talking hypothetically in business, if you're chasing wealth, and I don't mean chasing it in a bad way. I mean you're in the hunt or the pursuit of it.
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna go through hell, and you have to know why are you choosing. Again, going about what you said about mental health, like you chose to do that.
Yeah.
And knowing why you chose it is like, to me, the reason it separates, as I was studying it, of what separated those that had money and those that didn't have money, was those that had it always freaking knew why what it was to them. Which is why we started the show, which goes into the mental side, which is, I love that you talk about. So I'm gonna ask you the question.
Also self-awareness, you know?
Yeah,
like
all
these are
goes,
the
it all
self-aware
goes into self-awareness.
Yep.
Into it, which again, I just have never tied that word, that concept, into what I do.
Interesting.
Which makes you show, what now like I'm hyper focused on tying self-awareness into everything that I do now. Okay, so this is photo.
I love this.
Good photo.
Thanks.
Money is, you're gonna answer the question, and so you answer your question here, however long it is, whatever, put it here, and then a sign between here and here, and don't show anybody.
All right.
And then me and you will talk about what it is.
Okay.
Give you the Sharpie.
This is nice.
Everybody says that.
I know. I've never
I even
seen
had
it like
people
this.
take it from me.
They steal it?
Yeah. One guy just took it, and another person asked me, could I have it? And I said, yes. Please don't ask me. Got it?
Yeah.
Good?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
My hands, creation, taking action, experiences. Okay, so you had 4 words.
3. Well, correct.
Three-part answer.
Yes.
4 words total, but 3-part answer to it. No one's given this answer before.
Really?
No.
Okay.
And it's really good. So her answer is, money is creation, taking action, and experiences. Camee Adams. Okay, break it down for me. Why did you get that answer right there?
Long version or short version? Kind of a
Your game.
Sure.
I'm just here to ask you questions.
money is creation. From my perspective, I know that, you know, you can go to work and work the 8 to 5, and that's great. But I also know that there is another way, which is entrepreneurship, or however you want to do that. So for me, like I said, I'm huge on the health side. Something different about me is that I've had wealth in my life, but I've also not had health. And so putting them both together is super important to me. I think we all know lots of people that have a lot of money, but then they're not healthy. And I really wanted both. So,
Pause you. Not just externally healthy, but internally healthy.
Yeah.
'Cause, right? Those are two different things, right?
Correct.
The existence out of health, right? Okay, keep going.
So creation is, what do I want to create that can help this world, that will also make money? So creation to me, I think that we all have the power within us to create something amazing and magical, and that can benefit society or create a product, and that's the creation of how you make money. But then you also have to take action to do that and get your whole plan put together. And you're taking action every single day to make that money. And then experiences. I think a lot of people want money to have great experiences in life and live the life that they want to live. So I think it's the whole process of creating something that will make money, taking the action every single day to continue to make that money, and then enjoy life with great experiences with people that you want to experience things with, or a new experience with a new educational workshop or something that will, you know, just create more positive experiences in your life. If it's traveling, if it's a yoga retreat, if it's a wellness workshop, if it's anything that you want to do. I think we all want to make the money to have experiences, not just sit in your office every day and make money. Like, that's dumb. You know?
Yeah. No, I think it's such a good answer, and I love the all three of them. I'm gonna tee off on the last one.
Sure.
Experiences.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe I'm gonna talk about my personal here. I think maybe not side benefit, but I think a benefit that I have had by having what money that I do have is that one word right there, experiences. And not experiences. What's crazy is, and this goes back into more of my why, which is why I wanted money. But part of having money for me was creating experiences, but not necessarily for me, or maybe truthfully, maybe they were for me, but with someone else. And I'll give you an example. Like, literally, I was just in. It was a holiday season. Okay. And I just took my whole family to Florida. Okay. For the holidays, and we spent New Year's in Florida. I rented a beach house, and you know, without getting into too much details, but I pay for all that stuff, right? My family shows up to it. My mom and dad show up to it. My sisters, everybody shows up to it, and I pay for that. And I literally am using money to create that experience. Sometimes I refer to it as a memory. Yeah. I'm literally building my own data bank of memories that when my parents are no longer with me, I have literally built in my brain and on my computer memories that I will always get to have. And money, one of the things that money has done is create those experiences. Or they didn't create the experiences, it was the benefit of having it, like what you're referring to there. And it's so freaking powerful. Like, and I don't regret any of it. Like, every time I spend money, it's like on those experiences, like my family feels bad because they're like, oh my God, you're spending all this money. I'm like, no. The whole reason that I work the way that I do and do what I do is for this right here. And it's so powerful.
That's the key. You wouldn't want to just work as hard as you do just to make the money and have it sit there and not enjoy life, especially enjoy life with the people that matter most to you. But it's really hard to create awesome experiences and adventures if, you couldn't pay for it. You know what I mean? So it kind of goes hand in hand. And
I would tell people that have money right now, like when I go through create those memories, it's not majority of the time, it's not a random memory, meaning it's not a random concept. I literally will spend.
You're pretty thoughtful. I do know this from
I will literally
Brand Lab and
spend so much time thinking through every like detail of how my family's gonna get there, how they're arriving, who's picking them up. Like, I go through all of that and literally create their experience for them, and sit back and like watch this like movie unveil of process here, and it allows me to again have these like magical freaking memories that I could be broke tomorrow, but you will never take away the memories that I had. You know what I mean? And I have created memories, went broke. I still had those memories though. You know, and through the process. So it's an awesome freaking answer that you gave there.
Well, thank you.
Of creation, taking action, and experience is when it comes to money. So again, fight coming up. 27th, book coming out. If they want to know more about your punches, the basic six,
go to my website, www.cameeadams.com. It's free. I wanted to give this to anyone that wants to learn how to throw a punch, whether it's self-defense or they're just like, hey, I want to look cool in my kickboxing class. A lot of people go to like classes and they actually don't teach technique. So I thought this would just be a good little freebie. You come to my website, plug in your email address, and you'll get 6 free downloads. Well, 7. I teach you the stance and then how to throw each punch with instructions and videos.
Have you ever taught someone how to throw a punch in a 3-piece suit? because we're about to go do that. So
You'll be my first.
You're gonna need to get a
Yep,
video
it's
of
gonna be
this.
great.
Because normally, I doubt anybody's throwing the basic 6 punches
No.
in a 3-piece suit.
No, it's gonna
but
be
we're
great, though.
about to go do it.
Yep.
Awesome, guys.
excited.
Hey, thanks for watching the Money Day Show this week. Make sure you follow Camee Adams, CameeAdams.com, and we will see you next week on the Money Is Show.